Are you sick of more and more checkpoints, more and more highways shut down? Not just when Obama comes through town, but when the Speaker of the House comes through town, when the governor comes through town. One time they shut down a bunch of roads when Vicente Fox came to town and had a parade of motorcycles for the criminal Mexican president. And I went out there and bullhorned him at point-blank range, and the state police refused to arrest me because they'd lost lawsuits over it. Whenever I bullhorned at the gate and shut down the press conference of Vicente Fox, calling him a narcotics trafficker because he's clearly connected to groups that have been caught doing that. That video, by the way, is on YouTube somewhere. It's actually in my film, The Battle for the Republic, the short film, the extra to the DVD film, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Now, before I go any further, without further ado, let's go ahead and start into the news here. The news I haven't gotten to yet that is so important. I'm just going to read you these headlines from Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And then when I get to the end of these 6 or 7 stacks, I'm going to get to the top story that illustrates just how much trouble we're in. Feds urging paramedics and firefighters to help find extremists. And the extremists are gun owners, veterans, people that don't like the government. They're actually telling them that that's basically a sign of terrorism. And so now they're spying on you when they're in your house. And, of course, now when you go to get health care done, they ask you if you have guns and won't render care until you answer under penalty of perjury. And they put that into a health department federal database. And they take your children into a room alone nationwide now, even if you have your own insurance or paying cash, and interrogate your children. Welcome to East Germany in 1962. And remember, it's not angels running all this. The average do-gooder doctor or whatever is putting you into a system where you are absolutely going to have your rights destroyed. You will be targeted. If you're a 15-year-old MS-13 gangbanger that came out in the news that kills a cop, you're going to be fine. They just waive all the child welfare laws for that. That doesn't matter. It's about you being targeted if you're an American. I don't care what color you are. So that article's up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We're going to be getting to it. Border Patrol agents, UN taking control of America's southern border. This story broke yesterday as the broadcast ended. Under the pretense of stabilizing and labeling them refugees, illegals refugees, the UN personnel are now working with DHS to ship MS-13 gang members into the U.S., says agent. And we have the same sources, and there's also another group of journalists that have got other sources saying the same thing. The UN's on record down there with observers. There have been UN observers on the Arizona Mexican border for at least 5 years. Now they're in Tejas. And our own Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs, down there on the Arizona border yesterday, the video's up on Infowars.com, walked right across where there was a drug shipping house and went right through. I didn't tell him to do this. Not just because I want liability protection, but I don't want him to get hurt. I don't even know if Biggs probably should have done this. He went right into the drug smuggling route area, went through the openings in the fence, and went and bought a taco. We're going to get him on the show. In fact, we probably get him on today. I love how he's wearing his Army uniform while he's out there. He's in the air right now. I guess they're flying to South Texas. All right, well, let's get him on tomorrow to get a breakdown of all this. So, reporter goes through open fence in Arizona, buys taco in Mexico, returns. And then shot video from the Mexican side. There's the headline. Reporter enters Mexico via fence opening to illustrate border collapse. Pretty ridiculous how open the border is. Continuing, a human trafficker attacks South Texas game warden. Orchestrated border implosion encourages criminals to engage in risky illegal business. They're shooting at people, stabbing them, attacking them. And when border agents fight back and shoot back, they get indicted by the Justice Department. So now they just run. Now they just run. Here's another one. GOP in the House, send National Guard speed removals Rebuke of Obama's proposed solution to crisis on the southern border. Obama came out in Reuters today and said he's dispatching a team from the Justice Department and the Pentagon with a major general down to the Texas border to decide if National Guard need to be there to, quote, aid the refugees. And I told you where this was going on Monday when Rick Perry announced that he was going to send 1,000 National Guard down there. It doesn't matter because the Guard are going to hand the people over to ICE that then gives them a green card and buses them wherever they want to go on Greyhound. What has the Border Patrol head said, and the former head, and the head of the union, and the head of the retiree union? They've all said, quote, they're facilitating the end of the smuggling cycle. They have collapsed the border. They have ended the border. It's asymmetrical warfare. Those are all quotes, precise quotes you just heard. Precision, total asymmetric warfare carried out perfectly. That's a quote. Carried out perfectly. Yeah, Obama's not a buffoon.
We'd prefer not to. We'll let law enforcement officials do that. So we're going to deter by being present and fully visible. And then we're going to refer anybody who comes our way to law enforcement. DPS will be close by.
To then hand them over to the feds, who will then bus them into the country. And I'm not saying that the general that's over the State Guard is bad or over the National Guard in Texas. Let's put him back up on screen. I'll give folks his name. I'm not saying maybe Rick Perry means well. I'm not, but I know what the end solution is here for Obama. That's just in the borders. That's Major General John Nichols, Texas Adjunct General. So that's the two-star general here over Texas. That's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, the Army and the National Guard, the Army's not supposed to be running around in Indiana running checkpoints with guns. That's totally illegal, but it's going on. Regular Army. You know where the regular Army could be with Abrams tanks and helicopters? The border. That's what an Army's supposedly for. It's not to run around and arm Al-Qaeda. But, of course, it's not there. They will... And by the way, 911 calls are at record levels of the illegal aliens. See, they committed a thought crime right there. That's what I'm called in Mexico. I'll call it that here. That's the term worldwide. They call the police with their cell phones to get picked up and taken and then given to ICE and then to get 3 hots and a cot and a bus ticket. You want to go to New York? Want to go to Indianapolis? Want to go to Seattle? Want to go to Dallas? Want to go to Albuquerque? Want to go to Sioux Falls? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Anywhere they want. Vouchers with Greyhound. I can't get that. Again, this is a joke, people. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. So all this is more nannies. Why don't we put the big red one? Why don't we put the regular Army brigades that are training to take on the Tea Party? What do you expect the military training to take on the Tea Party publicly? Their main mission, to crush gun owners. What would be their other mission? Bussing the illegals in. I mean, just, that's what it is. Well, they got the Army down there, the National Guard. They'll fix it. No, they won't. They will deliver them to ICE, run by Obama. House GOP said National Guard, speed removals. You can't because ICE is in control and the criminal president won't let the military do their job. I'll tell you who's going to be arresting you if you go over the Mexican border and who's going to take you to a slave pit to then get your ID number and suck money out of your family. It's going to be Mexican Army. But that's okay. There won't be any news reports about them knocking your teeth out or extorting $100,000 over a year out of your family when you come back with dysentery or maybe die. There won't be any newscasts about how you were beaten to death, especially if you're a gringo. No. There won't be any of that because you don't count. By the way, they beat Mexican Americans, black Americans to death as well. I mean, Mexico is a hellish place now, especially in the north. Well, Raza's CEO, chants USA, USA, made me angry in an interview. So see, just hearing USA is bad. I agree, don't wear your American flags. Run up white flags. Abroad, the beast migrants fear Texas crackdown after Perry sends troops to the border. Texas Governor, AFP reports, Rick Perry's plan to send troops to reinforce Mexican border was enough to deter Salvadoran couple Edwin and Sandra, who decided to make a difficult trek through Mexico instead. The young couple, who are expecting a baby in 6 months, are crossing the Mexico aboard an infamous freight train known as the Beast, which tens of thousands of Latin Americans hop on each year. Carrying 2 small backpacks, the pair had jumped off the Beast, actually a network of trains crossing Mexico from the south to the north, and say they'll now, I guess, try to get up here some other way. Because, hey, what do? You get pregnant, and then you go through Mexico, and you make the little payoffs on the way, and then you get here, and you're given a voter ID card and a driver's license, and then you vote to make me your slave. It's a very easy equation. Carrying 2 small backpacks, the pair had jumped off the Beast, actually a network of trains crossing Mexico from south to north, to stop for the night in Christ the King, a shelter in central Mexico town that provides rooms to migrants hoping to sneak in the United States. Isn't that just special? Guaranteed Ford Foundation, U.S. government.